Suddenly, police officers showed up at my doorstep while I was visiting our new house from my business trip location. "We're arresting you for burglary in progress," they said. What? The person who reported me was supposedly the lady of the house. But I am the wife and resident of this house. Just who was this lady they were talking about? At that moment, I finally realized my husband's scheme, and I trembled with anger. "My name is Robin, and I'm a 30-year-old office worker. I live with my husband Vernon. We met through work, dated for a while, and got married. After marriage, we both continued working, but I was assigned to a long-term business trip. The company suddenly ordered me to go on this business trip. Don't you think it's awful, especially since we're newlyweds?" "Well, it's because you're so capable. Do your best. Hey, won't you miss me while I'm away?" "Of course I'll miss you, but we're building our new house, and we'll live together forever, so it's just temporary. We were planning to build our new house. After visiting several real estate agencies together, we finally found a property we liked. We agreed to split the construction costs equally and put both our names on the deed. I would occasionally visit the construction site and consult with the real estate agent, looking forward to its completion. Then, at this timing, I was ordered to transfer to a branch in another state for an extended period. I would have to live alone in the company dormitory for a while. I wanted to decide on the interior design while actually seeing the space," I said. "I'll send you photos of the floor plan and interior through my smartphone. That should work, right? You'll do that? Thank you." And so, I left for my long-term assignment. During my time away, Vernon would send me photos of the house's layout and interior, incorporating my requests. We planned to move in when I returned from my business trip. I worked hard, looking forward to the day I could return to our new home. My work schedule at the assignment location was irregular, and it was difficult to get consecutive days off. One day, I unexpectedly got time off due to a client's circumstances. I decided to use this break to return home for the first time in a while. Since the new house should be nearly complete, I planned to visit the construction site on my way back. I sent Vernon a message about this, but he hadn't read it. I figured he must be busy with work. When I arrived at the station nearest to our new house, I noticed dozens of missed calls from Vernon. I immediately called him back. "I just arrived at the station. Is there something urgent? Where are you right now?" "I'm at Central Station." When I called Vernon, he seemed extremely flustered, asking about my whereabouts. "Why are you at Central Station? Don't tell me you're planning to go to the new house." "Yes, I'm planning to go see it." "No. Don't go. Please wait there." "Huh? Why can't I go? I'll come pick you up right away. Just wait there. I'll explain later." "Well, okay." Though puzzled, I was overwhelmed by Vernon's panicked tone and decided to comply. Despite being at work, he rushed to pick me up. Instead of going to the new house, I ended up returning to our old home. Vernon explained that prohibited chemicals had been mixed into the house paint, and it wasn't safe to approach until it was repainted due to potential health hazards. You can't go inside. Please wait until the repainting is complete. Oh, I had no idea. More importantly, how did you suddenly get time off? Huh? Time off. Oh, about work. There was an issue with the client, and plans got cancelled. I took time off since I had nothing to do. Is it okay to just take time off suddenly like that because you have nothing to do? What? What do you mean, is it okay? Is there something wrong with me taking time off? No, that's not it. I just meant I would have liked to take time off to match your schedule. I was happy to learn that Vernon seemed a bit grumpy because he wanted to take time off together. We both work, so it can't be helped. I'll just relax at home, so don't worry about it. No, I've taken time off too. I'll stay with you while you're home. Even after returning home, Vernon was very attentive and caring. However, from the moment I got home, something felt off. Was it because I hadn't been home in so long? The living space felt somehow less lived in. Are you hungry? Should we order takeout? Yes, let's. Oh, the refrigerator is empty. Ah, well, I've been alone, so I've mostly been eating out. Vernon, what happened to your computer that was here? Oh, that? It wasn't working well, so I disposed of it. But it was brand new. Yes, what bad luck. Vernon, no water is coming from the tap. Oh, shoot. Hold on a minute. Vernon took out his smartphone and hurriedly made calls and did something beyond the entrance. Apparently, he had forgotten to pay the water bill. I noticed the entrance wasn't dirty. I quietly opened the shoe cabinet. While my shoes were still there, Vernon's shoes that should have been there were gone. When Vernon returned from outside and saw me standing in the entrance, his eyes widened. Where are you going? I thought I might go shopping. Then I'll go with you. Oh, and I've arranged for the water to be turned back on. It should be fine now. Vernon seemed very concerned about my movements. It felt like I was under surveillance. I was worried about Vernon's behavior, which suggested he was hiding something. That evening, I received a call from work asking me to come in. I was supposed to have days off, but now I can't stay here tonight. Well, if it's work, it can't be helped. I'll drive you to the station. What? You don't need to do that. Despite my protests, Vernon drove me to the station. He even followed me to the platform and watched until I boarded the train. I returned to the company dormitory late at night and was too tired to think about anything before falling asleep. The next morning, everyone at the branch office was surprised to see me. Huh? Weren't you supposed to be off today? I was, but headquarters ordered me to come in. That can't be right. Your time off is still approved for today. What? But yesterday, headquarters contacted me. Your attendance is managed by headquarters, right? There must be some mistake. When I checked after my colleague's comment, I indeed should have been on leave that day. Headquarters had issued an incorrect work order. I was disappointed about losing my day off. Was it someone's mistake at headquarters? Or was it malicious mischief? I couldn't make sense of it. I inquired with headquarters. They told me that due to my problematic behavior, they had decided not to give me consecutive days off during this long-term assignment. The problematic behavior they referred to was my alleged stalking. I was shocked and my mind went blank. Me, a stalker. This was a false accusation. Besides, who was I supposedly stalking? I strongly protested to the headquarters staff. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Besides, I'm married. There's no way I would stalk anyone. If you don't clarify this, I'll file a power harassment complaint. Perhaps pressured by my forceful response, the headquarters staff asked for time to investigate, promising to give me an answer. Still angry, I decided to apply for another day off. However, I made the headquarters staff promise to keep secret from the person who accused me of stalking that I was contesting this matter. From Vernon's behavior when I returned home yesterday, I had a feeling he was involved in this. That work order that came in right when I arrived home, it was too unnatural. That day, I decided to secretly visit our new house without telling Vernon. There must be some secret hidden in the new house. Vernon had been adamantly against me going near it. When I went to where the new house was located, construction was completely finished. I unlocked the door and went inside. All the furniture I had ordered was there, and the interior was as planned. Strangely, the electricity was on, and there were signs that someone was living there. When I opened the refrigerator, there were groceries inside. Soap and shampoo were placed in the bathroom. In the closet, there were women's clothes that weren't mine. What was going on? I called the real estate company. About the new house. Yes, thank you for your business. How are you finding the living conditions? Well, we haven't moved in yet, but it seems someone is already living there. Pardon? But you should already be moved in. No. We haven't moved in yet. I happened to check the house and found that someone else seems to be living here. Excuse me, but are you sure you haven't made a mistake? Perhaps you're at the wrong house. I'm not mistaken. I opened the front door with the key to this house. I'll come right away. Please wait. Only Vernon and I had keys to this house. The real estate agent said they would come immediately. I felt terrified at the possibility that someone had broken into our new house. Then, I heard police sirens outside. I opened the front door to see what was happening. The police car stopped in front of our new house, and officers surrounded me. You're under arrest for burglary. What? The person who reported it was supposedly the wife living in this house, who had called the police after coming home to find shoes at the entrance and hearing noises inside. How can I be burglarizing my own house? This must be some kind of prank. I tried to explain to the police that this was my house. Then, a woman who appeared to be the one who reported me pointed at me and said, "This woman is my husband's stalker. She even broke into our house." How frightening. What? Who are you? This is my house. Don't tell me you've been living here illegally. I'll sue you for breaking and entering." At that moment, the real estate agent arrived. Since they had dealt with me directly during the contract process and we knew each other's faces, they testified to my identity. While I had a key, the reporting woman's key turned out to be just a copy. The police officers asked the woman for an explanation. "What? That's impossible. I've contacted my husband. Put this stalker woman in jail." The woman who made the report was furious and said she had called her husband. And the person who rushed over was none other than my husband, Vernon. I came after getting a call from my wife. That woman is not my wife. She's my stalker. This woman who reported her is my wife. Vernon declared that I wasn't his wife. He said the woman who made the report was his wife and that I was a stalker. Vernon, what are you saying? Enough already. I'm sick of your stalking. Stop interfering with our married life. That's right. You're so persistent. I've already told your company about you. They've transferred you to a rural branch office permanently so you can't come near our house. While I was speechless with shock, a police officer intervened. "Well, putting aside the stalking issue for now, we need to verify whether this person is actually a burglar. Who owns this house?" "Of course I do. I'm also a co-owner." "What are you talking about? We're not married or anything. The house is in my name." "What? We are married, aren't we?" "Maybe we were, but we're already divorced." I was stunned. Then the police officer said, "We've just done a quick check. The land and building are indeed owned by this gentleman and this lady." The officer pointed at me. "It seems it was jointly owned by you as a married couple, but divorce papers were filed last month." "Divorce papers? No way." "That's right, we're divorced. So now the property is only in my name." The police officer asked me, "You didn't know about the divorce papers? Don't you remember signing them?" "No, I never signed any divorce papers." At this point, the real estate agent intervened. Even if you're divorced, the joint ownership remains unchanged. Robin is still an owner of this property." "What? Really?" Vernon's face turned visibly pale. The police officer nodded and said, "Then this person isn't a burglar. She just entered her own house." Sir, we'd like you to come to the police station. Let's discuss the suspected forgery of divorce papers." And so, Vernon was taken away by the police. Later, Vernon was arrested for forging official documents by faking my signature on the divorce papers. It turned out that even while dating me, Vernon had been involved with that other woman. He chose to marry me because my income was higher and it was easier to get approved for the house loan. After marrying me, he continued his relationship with his mistress, forged the divorce papers, and then married her. Moreover, Vernon and his mistress accused me of being a stalker to my company, plotting to keep me away from headquarters and unable to live in the new house. Vernon had mistakenly believed that once the divorce was finalized, the house would automatically become his property. I demanded a lump sum payment from Vernon for damages due to his infidelity. As for his mistress, I sued her not only for damages but also for defamation regarding the false stalking accusations and illegal entry. Regarding the new house, since I no longer wanted to live in a home where my cheating husband and his mistress had lived, I had the joint ownership and loan payment responsibility transferred to the mistress. Vernon was fired from his company due to his arrest. Due to difficulty finding work, he had to leave the state for employment, which meant he couldn't live in the new house but had to continue paying the loan. The mistress refused to follow Vernon and apparently continued living in the new house for a while, but eventually fell behind on loan payments and abandoned both the house and Vernon. The new house ended up being sold. I was called back to headquarters and resumed working in my original department. Headquarters apologized for believing the false stalking accusations, which made me feel better. Although I had a terrible experience with an awful man, I'm determined to move forward, hoping that someday this failure will become just a funny story to tell.